Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the privacy and the security edition. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would like to catch the show live, go ahead and catch us over there. Anyway, let's go ahead and get on into the news. First up, the Amazon Ring doorbell gave videos to U.S. police 11 times so far this year without permission. Now, they say that they will not give any information to law enforcement without users' permission and a warrant or, quote, extenuous emergency circumstances. And all 11 instances of the police gaining access to people's Ring camera was all under the extingent or emergency circumstances. What does that mean for a company that hosts websites for the Department of Defense? But this is why I do not like Ring doorbells. They're kind of problematic. If you want me to not go knock on your door, just put up a Ring doorbell. I'll avoid your door. I will walk on the other side of the street and backwards, just to avoid your stupid Ring doorbell. Just a reminder, though, that these Ring doorbells, it's not cool, convenient place for you to look at your video. Oh, look, I can look at my front door anytime on my phone. And so can every third world country person that Amazon has, and you think that they're committed to Amazon. Amazon cannot even keep committed employees here in the United States, folks. I will not trust them with constantly having an active live feed, because you know what? What if some guy at Amazon's kind of like running a little criminal enterprise and he's just giving people statistics about when people go to work in the morning? Yeah, that type of stuff is easy access to anybody at Amazon who might have access, and that's more than one person, I promise you. But hey, 11 times out of all the Ring doorbells, that's not too bad. But just a reminder, that data is not just private on your phone. It exists on Amazon servers, and they can do with it what they want. FTC is going after companies for misusing location, health, and other sensitive data. This is something I commented on this briefly a couple weeks ago with the overturning of Roe versus Wade. We'll not talk about the decision itself, the various implications, but what I commented on this channel is that the best thing about this is it got a whole lot of people going, wait. My phone could tell any person at Google if I've been near an abortion clinic? This is bad! Well, congratulations! You've finally woken up to the importance of privacy, and guess what? All of that stuff in your past is now something you have to hide that you thought for a long time, I have nothing to hide, except those 5 trips to the abortion clinics last year. And now, though, indeed, you have something to hide, and this is exactly what we're talking about with turnkey politics, turnkey government. This phone can collect data, has the potential to collect a lot of data. Mine doesn't because I've locked it down. But your typical phone, if you've not locked your phone down and you're a typical American consumer, you have all of this different data on your phone, and it can be used against you. Now, the FTC is starting with the abortion stuff. They're starting to pass laws. I praise the Lord. Finally, people are starting to recognize that these phones can actually track them, and that things you did way in the past that wasn't anything to hide before now happens to be something to hide. Now, would you like to get on the privacy train with us? Join us on Linux, lock down your smartphones, and start turning off location services, turn off Bluetooth, turn off Wi-Fi. My Lord, people, start getting to it. This is exactly what we've been talking about. Now everyone's like, they can track our past data. Yes, you now have something to hide. Would you listen to us now? Thank you. Rant over. Or sort of, because the Homeland Security buys all that smartphone data using your tax dollars. They take your tax dollars and they turn around and they buy your location data so they can track you. Isn't that great? I promise you, Homeland Security doesn't care if you've walked by an abortion clinic. They care about a lot of other things you do. Oh, isn't it so great? It's kind of interesting. Being a van dweller, I did my tour down through the Southwest this year, and I think I passed through 4 or 5 Border Patrol checkpoints. They can operate anywhere within 100 miles of the border. I passed through several of them, and you drive through them. In my experience in nearly every one of them, in fact, I've only had one guy even talk to me. Most of the time I'm driving through and they're just waving through. So here's this big old high roof van with no windows in the sides going over, and they're just waving through. Why are they waving me through? Well, because as good as I do of a job of blocking a lot of those things, they know exactly who I am and where I've been when I come up on the place, just simply on the basis of the license plate trackers they have. So when you drive into these Border Patrol checkpoints, there's piles of like you are literally driving through like two television studios. One's facing this way, one's facing this way. They get your license plates. They have pictures of everybody in the car. They're probably doing x-raying to determine what's in there. And they come up, and most of the time they're just waving on by. I had one guy like, anyone in there with you? I'm like, this cat, like, get out of here, you know? And that's kind of what they did. But Homeland Security does buy smartphone data. There are some laws on the book. Well, there's some laws that are being proposed to go on the books to prevent this type of stuff from happening, but there's nothing in here yet. As of right now, the government can use your money using what is called the third-party doctrine in order to grab data on you. What is the third-party doctrine? This is the doctrine that says, while we have the Fourth Amendment here in the United States that prevents the government from collecting data on you, nothing prevents them from buying data that's been collected on you from your phone, from Google, from Facebook, from the services you sign in on, and there is your next reason why you have things to be concerned. Now, this is the same data that was used on, there's a documentary that came out, I don't know, can I even mention the name of it, or is it one of those bannable things? It's something about a couple thousand mules or something, pack horses, I don't know, some documentary. Guess what? All that data that they use to show the things they use is exactly the data that the DHS is buying up on Americans using Americans' own tax money. So it's like, here's my money you're forcing me at gunpoint to take, and you're just going to turn around and use it to buy all the rest of the information that I'm not giving you. Great. So, of course, the ACLU is all mad about this, and this is why some people are starting to propose some laws in order to prevent the government from buying this. They're trying to actually close this loophole in some government circumstances, which is kind of cool. All right. UK cybersecurity, jumping across the pond over there. And the UK cybersecurity chiefs, they want to back this plan. Basically, they are looking at doing client-side CSAM scanning. Now, when Apple first rolled out the CSAM scanning, what was this, a year ago? Was it 18 months ago? I forget. Time flies. Time flies when I'm enjoying my time down the road. But Apple tried to release the CSAM scanning, and it was on the device, but only, or was it in the cloud? Your device had to be synced to the cloud for the algorithms to work on your device. It's scanning for known images. If you happen to have your iCloud linked to your device, it would scan and it would alert law enforcement if it thinks that you have bad stuff on there. It caused a giant meltdown among every privacy group, like it should have happened. Absolutely, that should have happened. That is bad. This goes beyond that. Of course, Apple, quote unquote, buried it. And what happened then is they buried it. Nobody's talked about it for a while. And then all of a sudden, the UK just comes out and being like, hey, I think that this is a grand idea. This is a grand idea. There is no iCloud basis. This is Android and Apple. This is what the UK government is trying to propose and trying to force phone manufacturers and the companies to do. Basically, what they're trying to do is allow CSAM scanning on the client device. In other words, there's no linking up. There's no requirement to get in there. Everything you're doing is on the device itself, all with the purpose and express intention of, under the auspices of protecting children. Well, I agree, and I think we would all agree we need to protect children, but this is the Trojan horse to get in. That what if they now say, okay, well, everything that's against this political person, everything that's against this word, everything that's against this meme, and they now have the policies and the tools in place in order to do the very same stuff. They have all that. Now what they need to do is just turn it on for other things. So this is a bad thing. If you're in UK, you should do whatever you can to fight against this. But it looks like right now everyone's all on board on this. Oh, this is what we need to do. No, this is not what we need to do. This is dangerous stuff. And onto vehicles with GPS trackers. If your vehicle has this particular GPS tracker in it, it's the Micatus MV720 GPS. Yeah, your car can be completely taken over by China hackers. Basically, this particular guy here has several 0 days that are very difficult to patch. And they allow people to take over several aspects, including cutting fuel line to your car, knowing exactly where you are, accessing your contacts. So any car with this particular system in it is vulnerable to the attack. These are all the 0 days. Score of 9.8. Hard-coded credentials may allow an attacker to log into the web server, impersonate the user, and send SMS commands to the GPS tracker as if they were coming from the GPS owner's mobile number. Another score, 9.8. Improper authentication allows a user to send some SMS commands to the GPS tracker without a password. 7.5. Cross-site scripting vulnerabilities allow an attacker to gain control by deceiving a user into making a request. 7.1. Main web server has authenticated insecure direct object references vulnerability on the parameter device ID, which accepts arbitrary device IDs without any further verification. That's exciting. 6.5. Main server has an authentication IDOR vulnerability on post to the parameter device ID, and all devices ship pre-configured with the default password 123456, something like an idiot would have on his luggage. And does the mobile interface. There's no mandatory rule change for the password, nor is there any claiming process. The setup itself does not require a password to change to use the device. And basically, with all this data, they can remotely get in and literally shut down a car. So, yeah, this is why I do not want my cars on the internet. And if you want GPS inside your car, buy yourself a little $100 thing you can mount on your dashboard. You can take it down and throw it out the window when it goes rogue. Okay? And onto the story you're all here to watch. STAR is Brave's new system for privacy. And this is an acronym, and Brave's own blog post does not define the acronym, and I looked it up just prior to this, and I forget exactly what it was, but it's I think it's like, it starts with secret. It's like a secret tracking and blah blah blah. Here is their idea, which by the way sounds a whole lot like Google's Flock. It's just that it has a little bit larger cohort groups by default. So, and it also is allegedly opt-in. I say allegedly because how long do we see a Silicon Valley startup company allegedly opt in and then just toggle the switch at some random update? Oops, it was an accident. We didn't know we were collecting everybody's data. But what they did here is they are putting in an opt-in system by which on several of their products you can turn it on, and when you turn it on, it's like you can enable it in this new search engine. You can enable it in the Brave browser. By turning it on, you are giving them a lot of data, but it stays in an alleged private server out of the hands of the data analytics until enough people have handed in data. Then it passes the whole data set on. I still do not feel comfortable with that, and I'd just rather they not try it. But remember, guys, Brave is not this company that started out by going, we're going to create the most private thing in the world. They started out with an angel investment to build an alternative to the current problems of marketing. That's how they started. When they went in to raise funding to launch the Brave product, it was on the basis of upsetting the advertising market. It had nothing to do with privacy and search engines. Privacy and search. Then they took the money, developed the product, flipped around, and out of the other side of their mouth started giving the consumers a completely different message. Now, as far as a technical analysis of the products, they seem to be pretty good for the most part. So I don't have huge qualms against using them right now. I'd rather an alleged opt-in that is allegedly trying to keep things safe than the alternative, which would be Google. or even DuckDuckGo at this point, where we know that they were actively giving data to Microsoft. And because by contracts, the fact that they're using Bing, we know that. And so this system here, they are alleged to make it more private by collecting things in larger cohorts before going out. Now, there's actually a paper on it here. I would like to probably look at this paper in longer detail, but this is it, the secret sharing for private threshold aggregation reporting. So we have, this is the client over here right above the orange. You can't see my mouse. So look at the figure over there, and I don't know how much I can point to it because my hand's cut off now. All right. Rather than be a handless dude, I need a hook or something. I don't know. But anyway, on the orange box there, the first little block at the top, this is where the client comes in. Then we have a randomization server, the second one. We have an aggregation server, the third one. In the randomness phase, the client feeds data into the randomness save, and it's looking for a specific number of requests. And when there's enough number of requests, then it feeds it down to the message phase to generate the message. And then the randoming server looks for individual keywords, and this sends a message to the aggregation server, which can collect and return the data. Here's the big problem with this is, yeah, the data is still in the system. If this randomized server gets compromised and it's a server on the internet, yeah, we're leaking a lot of data that can be linked back to you. So there are fundamental problems with this, but hey, at least it's better than the known tracking inside of other things. Well, if you'd like to help support the channel, we do have affiliates. Having just come back from a writers' conference, I decided I'd just go ahead and talk about my science fiction novel, Synaptergy, again. And Synaptergy is a science fiction novel I did, which is based on a current company out there. You can probably guess which one it is if you read the book. You can head on over to the website synaptergy.com or tlm.li/s. You can read chapter 1 over here on the website. You can listen to the first 5 minutes of the audiobook, and there is a where to buy button. You can pick it up a variety of different places online. So go ahead and have a look at Synaptergy over there. Well, guys, let's head on over to security news. First up in security, another WordPress plugin that's been abandoned and is allowing complete full access. This is Kaswara Modern WordPress Bakery Page Builder Add-ons. If this is exploited, it allows criminals to upload malicious JavaScript files and takes over the entire organization website. WordFence disclosed the flaw 3 months ago. A new advisory warned criminals are increasing attacks with it. And basically, the plugin isn't developed. It's complete abandonware. If you happen to have that plugin, then you need to get rid of it. It shows, this is the query string that it shows. Let's see, they have some attempts to block it. I thought they had the file here. Maybe it was a different website I was looking at that showed us the file. Let's check out the WordFence. Maybe it's WordFence. They would be able to tell you if you were actually running it by looking in your plugin directory, because some of the names are a little bit wonky. So following files found on infected sites. So Kaswara icons. So if you have any of these images or PHP files rather, I think I've seen that breach before. I don't know. Something similar to it. But that's kind of how you can tell if you have it. So the plugin is Kaswara Modern WP Bakery Page Builder Add-ons. If you happen to have that particular plugin, kill it immediately. Get it off your site. And next, there is a new major malvertising campaign, and Google's like, stop using ad blockers. Get malware out of your ads. You're Google. You can get malware out of your ads. Either Google does not really know what they're doing, or Google is complicit in this, okay? There's a thought. For people switching to Google because it might be more secure, think of this. All right. Fraudsters long been leveraging the shady corners of the internet to place malicious adverts, leading users to various scams, but now again, it's another mainstream one on Google. They uncovered a malvertising chain abusing Google Ads networks to redirect visitors to an infrastructure of tech support scams. Unsuspected users searching for popular keywords will click an advert and their browser will get hijacked with fake warnings to urge them to call rogue Microsoft agents for support. Oh man, now I want to go and find them. Oh, there it is. Look at that video. Oh, sweet. Oh man, why can I never find these guys? Come on. I want to find these guys too, and this is why, Cloaking other violations. The technique used to divert traffic for malicious purposes is known as cloaking based on 2 prereqs. User looks fake, non-residential IP address, wrong user agent string, etc., and the user looks legitimate. So in this case here, it says it goes to youtube.com. It just redirects somewhere else first because in Google Ads you can do that. Kind of fun. And of course, they're just giving you all this pop-up stuff. And this is why you don't want to run ads. So you can actually kind of see a little bit more about how this guy works on the Malwarebytes blog. Links are in the description of the video. Just be aware of that. And if you're looking for something, probably wise not to click on an ad. Kind of sad, but we might have to. And back to security affairs, there's a new Linux malware, Lightning Framework, undetected malware. Apparently, this uses some typo squatting, masquerades as Seahorse, GNOME password encryption key manager. It's basically a modular malware. It's kind of fascinating. So when it gets itself installed, it hides itself, and then it decides to communicate with its server to decide what plugins that it would like to install on your system. It just builds its own Gentoo right there on your Ubuntu. I mean, come on. Probably something... I couldn't find a lot of information about where and how you'd get this, if this is landing on those ads or if this is something else. But regardless, whatever the situation is, just be aware. Linux can get malware too. Usually you find Linux malware more on servers than desktops, though, so you can take a little bit of safety in that. But beware, because Linux malware is on the rise, especially with all these wonderful crossovers. It's making it easy to develop cross-platform systems because it's easy for them to be like, hey, we already have it. Let's just go ahead and port it for Linux too. We need to port more real software to Linux, not more malware to Linux. But anyway, if you'd like to help support the channel, we do have a Patreon page. It will cover my various channels, so you can jump on over there, patreon.com/TOMM, T-O-M-M. Jump on over there, and you can support me on Patreon. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.